welcome again. Would you like to introduce your name, course, and your year?
Yes, my name is Luka. I'm studying business management as a bachelor, and I'm in my first year.
Could you tell us, as an international student, what country you're from?
I'm from Germany.
What is it like in Germany, the culture, compared to the UK culture?
So the teenage culture, especially for students, is very similar. There's the kind of idea of chavs here, and then there's the idea of like, I don't know actually what the name is for them in German, but we have the same kind of groups. There's a same basic stereotypes that everybody's kind of
What would be
assigning
the
themselves to.
German equation of a chav?
Yeah, the thing is that I can't necessarily think of that right now, but it is. The thing is, I only know them by the way they dress, right? It's kind of like there has to be some sort of designer on them. They have a less than generous attitude, and they're a little bit more, I don't know, mean in a way. That's like the very stereotype, right? I don't like to put anybody in a
Of
bracket or
course.
anything, but that is like the overarching stereotype. And those
Okay.
exist like in any other teen culture as well, I assume, especially in America as well. And so in that aspect, the teen culture is very similar when it comes to stereotypes. So we all have the same distinct stereotypes, just one of them is German, one of them is English, but
Mm,
they all exist in any other culture.
mm.
Learning wise, it is a little bit different because um, yeah, Germans are we're very strict when it comes to our rules. We're very strict when it comes to our learning. That's just the German mentality. That is changing now. It's adapting because most cultures are now kind of morphing together a little bit when it comes to learning, simply because there's international standards for everything, right? So everybody starts adhering to very strict parts from the German culture, and everybody starts adhering to a very strict part of the English culture, and it's all coming together now to be this kind of uniform idea of what education should be. So even there, the standards are kind of morphing. There's not many differences apart from the elder generations. Like as soon as you get past like the 30 or 40 like year mark, that's when you notice distinct differences in the behavior. And there's the thing is, it's not even differences. It's just very strict way of identifying themselves. Like the older generations in Germany, kind of they pride themselves in like the whole folk mentality, and then the older generations in England kind of also have that, but in a very different way, and it's hard to describe. So overall, it's just, I don't know. It's a very different group of people, but they're very alike in a lot of aspects, and it's hard to necessarily differentiate them out loud. But once you visit Germany, you will kind of notice the difference, and I'm trying to sum that up. Um, hmm.
We can move on if it's a bit. So it's more of just you need to be there to see it. Once you
Yeah,
come to
it's,
Germany or go to England, you will see the difference, even though they're similar.
yeah.
When you came to the UK, what UK cultures shocked you? What shocked you about coming to the UK when you came here and studied?
The first thing that really shocked me was the idea of tuning up a Ford Fiesta and making that very exciting. Now, that is a very specific thing, but that is something you notice immediately as soon as you land in the UK. You will see a Ford Fiesta zoom by with the loudest exhaust. And that is something you will see, especially right now. I live next to a road. I hear one at least every 10 minutes, just like try to accelerate through Buckingham, which is a very tiny town, and there's a traffic light right there, so he doesn't make it far. But it's kind of this show-off mentality that a lot of teenagers have. That's something that really comes through. And of course, that exists in Germany. But for some reason, I never noticed it as much. And I think it's a lot less, especially because in Germany, of course, I'm not judging anything, but there seems to be a lot more creativity in terms of what cars, for example, they were tuned up. There seems to be more originality, while here it's very focused on very specific models. And that's targeting a very specific demographic of people right now. Like, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that's just the first thing that really shocked me. Kind of this show off mentality. And then also from those stereotypes often comes a lack of politeness. That's just something I witnessed. Just encountering older cultures or older people, or also other teenagers. The people that tend to act that way seem to be a lot less considerate of others. And I've seen that a lot, especially in supermarkets with older people around, where they were shown no appreciation whatsoever. That was kind of, yeah.
Is there anything else that shocked you about coming to the UK?
Um, Other than that, not necessarily, no. There's, what we don't really have in Germany necessarily is those travel buses. That's like I'm pointing out very specific parts, but it's something that stands out when you don't have it in your country. In Germany, we don't have travel, but like we don't have genuine coaches that go between the towns. Like you go by car or you take the normal bus that kind of gets you close, and then you have to take other bus that takes you further. Here, I can take a bus from Oxford to Cambridge all the way through, and that's something we don't have, like a coach system like that, which it would be cool, but we don't necessarily. Yeah.
What's the best thing you like about the UK culture?
Best thing. It's kind of the idea that everybody can bond over a pint in the pub. That's like it's a very nice mentality to have, and especially in Germany, we have a very heavy, not heavy in like a bad way, but heavy in a very good way, drinking mentality, right? It's healthy, but once it happens, it's a very fun culture. Like drinking is a very integral part of our community, like it is for Oktoberfest. I mean, it's a 1 month fest of just drinking beer, so it kind of shows that we have a heavy drinking culture, and that is something that carries over. Like in Germany, in Bavaria, especially in where I come from, you can bond over a pint in your bar, and then here you can bond over a pint in the pub. So it's a nice culture carryover for either from no matter where it came from first, but it's nice that that culture exists here too, because it's kind of, you get something to bond over, even if it's just a beer.
Would you say there's anything else that German students or international students need to know about when it comes to the UK about the culture?
Hmm. Not necessarily. I'd say keep a very open mind, because a lot of people, when, for example, because now from what I've said, for example, about the tuning up the Fiesta, nobody who's tuning up a Fiesta has done anything wrong. They're like, there's a heavy stereotype surrounding that demographic, and that shouldn't be just seen that way. There shouldn't be any prejudice. Like, I know amazing people who are also incredible intellectuals that have tuned out their cars. That's cool. Don't judge people by their stereotypes, because that is something that will be noticed very easily in England. There's a lot of stereotypes people can fall under, like in any other cultures, but here I realize because I moved here, right? And if you approach this culture with these stereotypes in mind, you won't meet amazing people, because you will stay away from people who are incredible, but you put so much prejudice into that you will never want to meet them, even though they've done nothing wrong. And yeah, so keep an open mind, because you're going to judge people that, I mean, one, you shouldn't judge people at all, but two, you're also not going to befriend them because you judge them so harshly for no reason whatsoever. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.